Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, a lot of people are having their cruises starting to get interrupted. And it's the weather. Over the past few days, we've seen Tropical Storm Alex gaining in strength. It's gone from 35-mile-an-hour winds to 50-mile-an-hour winds. And as it gets into that warmer weather in the Caribbean, the warmer waters, it's going to pick up steam even more and more and could turn into a full-blown hurricane. And just to be precautious, cruise lines are now keeping an eye on this, including one. We have the Norwegian Pearl, which was on a cruise from Boston to Bermuda. Well, it set sail on Friday. It arrived in Bermuda on Saturday or Sunday morning and ended up saying, you know what, we better get our keisters out of here, and pulled up stakes and left the port. Basically, passengers only had a few hours on dry land. Normally, that's a 3-day stop in Bermuda, but they had to take off. Quite simply put, the storm is bearing down and picking up steam, and yes, the boat can outrun that, but you don't want it to change direction suddenly on you when you're heading across back towards Boston and have that be right in your path and you get stuck in, anything can happen. Remember the Viking ship that got stuck just off the coast when its engine stopped working and they had to evacuate by helicopter? Yeah. Cruise lines don't want that to happen, so they will always err on the side of caution, first of all for passenger and crew member safety, and they don't want to put a ship in danger neither. Oh, you don't want those headlines ever coming out. So they took off. No mention of possible, are they going to compensate in any way? Again, remember, they don't have to because of weather situations. If the weather is forcing them to miss a port or change directions or stay out at sea another day, cruise lines have no obligation to give us anything extra. They will do their best to help accommodate people, like if you booked your flights. Say you're on a cruise and it gets delayed getting into port because the hurricane is hitting port, and then you have to come in and you get off a day late. And you booked your flights through the airline, through the cruise line, they will help you rebook your airfare and get things done. So, just to be safe, I don't know how much longer we have to say this, but right now, I would be booking all my flights through the cruise lines for that extra safety and extra precautions, and getting your money back if they cancel your cruise, etc., etc. So you're not left holding the bag, the financial bag, if you will. Because, let me see, my cruise that I was just on, going to Alaska, that I couldn't make, well, I had it booked through the cruise line, so I'm going to get my money back. My cruise going to the Mediterranean in July, if anything happens to that, I have it booked through the cruise line. I'm going to get my money back if there's something that comes up that I can't go. So keep that in mind whenever you're booking your cruises, and if you have any cruises coming up to the Caribbean over the next few days, keep in mind a lot can happen because that storm could grow to hurricane status and interfere with a lot of cruises leaving out of Florida, New Orleans, Boston, New York. You get the picture. Well, I got one more quick story for you. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Really does help the channel out, keeps you updated with all things cruising and things like the tropical storm that could affect your cruise, where to book your flights, just because of the situation that's changing. Yes, before I would book my flights through Air Canada because I could get a little bit cheaper. But now I'm taking that extra security by booking through the cruise line because of the situation that's going on globally. And if you follow the channel, it'll help you keep up to date with all those kind of things. Again, it doesn't cost anything, and I'd really appreciate it. Okay, we also had the unfortunate incident in the Mediterranean on the Azamara Quest around 2 a.m. shortly after leaving Barcelona on an 8-day cruise. It's only the first day out. A middle-aged woman went overboard. There is no story as far as how she went overboard, what if there's any suspected foul play. We don't know. All we know is that there was a search on board, including 2 helicopters, a Coast Guard ship, and the Azamara Quest. They did their search for a little while, and then the Coast Guard told the ship that they were excused from the search rescue, and they would continue the search themselves because they were in the area. They could cover a lot more room than the cruise ship can. You know, with 2 helicopters and a Coast Guard cutter can travel much faster and cover a lot more area than the cruise ship could. Unfortunately, right now, as it stands, we have no idea of the status of the lady, and again, we don't know the situation of why she went overboard. It's very unusual for a person to go overboard near the beginning of a cruise. Normally, especially like day one, normally people who are intent on doing this in their minds, they wait till the end of the cruise on the way back. So this is kind of a little bit of an oddity in the normal situation of what normally occurs when this happens, unfortunately, when passengers go overboard. Again, some people are bringing up the situation that the Azamara Quest is not outfitted with a man overboard system, that automated radar night vision detection system that will recognize somebody falling from the cruise ship even at night, and it will track in the water where they went overboard as long as the ship's within range. For a faster recovery, a warning goes off on the bridge. They can stop the ship immediately and drop the lifeboats, etc. Without that system, it's word of mouth. This person went overboard, get to the phone call the bridge searches the people on board. Is there anybody there? They slow down and then they stop and then they turn around. It can take a lot longer without that system to turn around and find where that crew member possibly could be. And as you know, ocean currents you could drop here and within 20 minutes you could be 100 yards further away to the direction. And so it's more of a guessing game at that point. And it really drops the odds of being able to find people on board. Now, the system is not cheap. It's not inexpensive, but there are laws now coming out, and in fact, one since 2010 that said cruise ships have to be outfitted with this, but it's not an international thing. It hasn't been agreed to internationally yet. So, although there is a system in place where a lot of them are signing on to this, out of about 350 cruise ships that are out there, only about 50 have been equipped with the man overboard system. So of this, we have Disney, MSC, we have Royal, we have a few cruise lines that have a few ships that have the system on board. They're checking the reliability of the system and its practicality, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, anything that will help find somebody going overboard, whether it be accident, on purpose, anything, foul play, is good. However, the cruise lines want to make sure the thing works and isn't having the cruise ship slam on its brakes and issue a full search because a seal flew by a camera or an eagle or something, a large bird or something along those lines. By now, we think those systems have been tested quite a bit, but they're doing their due diligence, and at least some of the ships out there have started putting them in. Unfortunately, the Azamara Quest did not have this in place, and that throws in those questions again. Why not? Well, I hope you appreciate this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.